Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Suri Sessions. Today we would like to discuss the key differences between three important commands drop, truncate and delete in the SQL language. It always runs up in the programmer minds what are the key differences between these three commands, how can I differentiate them, and most importantly it's a key interview question as well. If you are going for any interview related to the SQL, this is one of the key question the interviewer wants to assess it. So this will give us a clarity on the SQL concepts. So before we go further, I would like to touch base the key difference between these three. As we have already studied in the previous session, the drop and truncate commands are actually DDL commands, which are part of data definition language. So by default, they will auto commit all the transactions, and whereas delete is from DML category, which is data manipulation language, which requires commit to commit the changes. So let's play around with our existing tables and see. I'm going to explain the key differences between these three. So let's start with drop. The drop, what it does, the drop will actually delete the whole table along with the structure. What does it mean? That means you can see we in under customer table we currently have three records. So I have run this query select star from customers. You could see three records here. So what drop does is it's gonna delete all three rows here, and it will also delete the whole table. That means you can no longer see this table listed out under the tables. So let's do that and see what will happen. So command completed successfully. So let's refresh it, and you can see the table is no longer present. So this is the quickest way to get rid of any table by using the drop command. Now let's do the truncate. So since we don't have the table again, so let's create the table. So to create the table, we should again use the create command which we have learned previously. So let's create the table. So I'm creating it. The table is created. I'm also adding three records into it, similar to the initial state. So let's run this query and see if we can see the three records. Yes, we can see. So let's move on. So let's try playing on the truncate. The truncate, as we discussed, it will delete the records within the table, but it will retain the structure. That means we will only drop the records but not the table. So let's run this. So we are expecting the data will be deleted but not the table. So let's run this. Command is completed successfully. So let's check the table is present. Yes, it is present, and it has all the columns, I suppose. Yes. So now let's try fetching the data from the table. So here we go. You can see there are no records present in it. Since we have truncated it, it has deleted all the records. So now let's go back and see what is the difference between truncate and delete. So before I do that, let's try to add the data again. So now we can see customer table holding three rows again. So now let's delete it. So what will happen? So again, as I said, delete can be used to delete all the data or a subset of data. If we use where clause, we can delete the particular record, but in this case, on a high level, I want to delete the whole data and see what happens. So this behaves almost similar to truncate. So if I run this command, it has deleted all the three rows and it has retained the structure of the table. If you select this, you could see select star from customers actually yielded no records. Then you might be wondering, then what's the difference between truncate and delete? So the truncate, the basic difference between these two is truncate will actually truncate the table in one go. That means it will delete the whole data set in one go. Whereas delete will actually delete a data one by one. So that means it can be delete everything in one go, or it can be used to delete subset of rows. Whereas in truncate you can't do that. Either you delete everything or you can't use the command. So there is no where clause within it. And also, as I said, drop and truncate are DDL commands, so you can't roll back. So whatever records or table you have dropped, you can't go back to the previous state, you can't roll back anymore. Whereas in delete, you can always roll back and you can ensure the data within the table is back to the usual state. So these are the key differences between drop, truncate and delete. So in summary, the first difference is a categorization. Drop and truncate are DDL, whereas delete is DML. And another key difference, on the rollback perspective, we cannot roll back transactions as part of drop and truncate, but we can roll back as part of delete. I hope you got the key differences between these three commands. Thank you very much for your support. Please do like, share and subscribe our channel. Signing off, Suri.